How you guys doing? This is a part one of three video while I'm gone at my Thanksgiving with my family, and I want to do at least three videos while I'm gone. I have one at least every other day. So this is going to be, I think, live on Tuesday or maybe a Wednesday, probably Tuesday though. This is going to be about platoons for the light side TB, how I think about them, and my thoughts, and also things to look into with who you should be farming now with the new release of the requirements, and we'll go over some of those too for the light side TB. But that's it, some just light side TB stuff, guys, and let's go over some of the requirements. All right, so first and foremost, let's go into the platoons, because this is going to be probably the biggest issue for any guild out there. It doesn't matter if you're big, small, medium, doesn't matter. This is going to be probably the biggest issue because, especially with ships, guys, it's going to be a big issue. So before we get into this, you can see there's blue and red. And if you guys can read this, I'm going to try to zoom in as much as I possibly can. We'll just start here. So the blue is fleet and ships that are required in the platoons, and red is the ground units like characters. So phase 1, you need 6 Y-Wings, 4 Hyenas, 7 MILFs, 5 Vultures, 2 Umbaran, and 3 Ahsoka ships. This is an issue because, as you can see as we progress through these requirements for platoons, there's not a whole lot of pickings for your fleet, and that's an issue because there's going to be fleet battles you're going to have to do for combat missions and special missions throughout every single phases 1 through 4, and that's a pretty big issue, I think. So this kind of is a similar thing for phase 2 for ships, pretty much the exact same thing. It really is actually the exact same thing. Yep. Okay, and then phase 3, you need 10 MILFs this time, 4 Hyenas, 10 Y-Wings, 6 Anakins, 8 Vultures, 1 Umbaran, and 1 Ahsoka. So yeah, Anakins and Y-Wings are going to be an issue for a lot of people. Not just about getting them into platoons, because that's going to be probably easy for most people if you're like in a whale that, or if you're in a guild that has some whales, I guess you could say. This should not be an issue with the Y-Wings and Hyenas. But Anakin ship, guys, is one of the most important ships, I would say, for using them in negotiator or endurance type of fleet. This is a huge issue, and there's some missions that require GR ships, and if you can't use Anakin like the best one there, it's going to be very, very tough to beat some of those ships. And I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this platoon stuff. So that's that, phase 3. Let's go into phase 4. You need 14 MILFs now, 10 Hyenas, so a big jump in Hyenas, 9 Y-Wings, 7 Vultures, 2 Umbarans, and 3 Ahsoka. So that makes sense. I think phase 4 for most of this stuff is very, very, you can't grasp it for a long, long time. Like I would say 6 to 8 months for most guilds. So I'm not too worried about that, but I am worried about phase 3. Phase 3 seems like a big leap, and if you don't have enough people in your guild that has the Hyenas and the Y-Wings, you're going to not look good. So, I don't know. I think ships are a big issue here. I think if you're going to look into anything here that's going to be an issue, I think ships is the main issue for most people. And it makes sense that they're going to push these ships right now, because they're trying to get a ship rate out here soon in like the next few months. You know, maybe around March next year. So it makes sense. But right now, as we have the current ships in game, it's very, very tough to, I think, in my opinion, beat all these phases with what we have. Okay, so that's kind of the ship part of this platoon. Now let's go on to some of the characters. So there's a lot of them. Phase 1, you're going to need 9 R2s, 10 3POs, 4 Nests, 1 Echo, 4 Kenobis, 6 Hodas, 8 CLS, 2 Chewies, 4 JTR, you know, and then a bunch of these other guys that aren't as important. Ones that do stand out to me, 6 Shocks, 5 Ahsokas, and I do think Barriss will be very, very important here in these TBs because of her healing. So that's phase 1. Phase 2, this is a little bit tougher. You need to place 5 of your JKRs, and I'm pretty sure phase 2 and above, you're required to use some of these, what's it called, Jedi teams, like only Jedi, that's the only thing you can use, right? So JKR being needed here is very, very annoying. And then you got the same kind of thing here with R2 3PO, some Nests, CLS, Raid Han, some of the JTR team, and Barriss. So Barriss, I don't know, guys. I think a really, really high relic Barriss in some of these Jedi teams and missions is going to be very, very important. And same with Ezra, because in some of these you gotta place Yoda for some GR, and there's also a mission in the same exact phase with Jedi. So you have to split up your GR faction and your Jedi faction. And I would rather have GMY with the Jedi, but I'm pretty sure you're gonna need him with the GR. So having to split up some of these guys is going to be very, very hard to do, and I'm not sure how most people are going to do it. So phase 3 here, more JKR. Here, though, you need to place 10 General Anakin Skywalkers. That's pretty big. And I think the most my guild I have is around that number, too. So you're pretty much asking everybody to place your Anakin Skywalkers there, which is really, really stupid. I think that's probably the worst thing they could do right now. Many people, many guilds don't have this. This is like so much geared towards like almost 300 mil guilds, like the top end of the guilds. Like that's what it seems like to be hinted towards. So that's that. Everything else is pretty much a similar thing here. And the nice thing, though, about Phase 3 and comparing that to Phase 4 is that only in Phase 3 is where you need to place your General Anakin Skywalkers. So you need at least 10 GSs to be placed in Phase 3, and you should be somewhat set for the character stuff. So that's pretty much it for these platoons. I kind of want to chat a little bit about the requirements. But yeah, the platoons, guys, they are tough. Not many people have Anakin Skywalker, the General Anakin Skywalker. And that's a big issue for most, and I'm pretty sure there are a mission or two where you need the entire clone team and him to even have a chance of beating that. And without him, that's not going to be fun at all. So now let's briefly go over some of the requirements that you're going to need to worry about, and some of the stuff I think you should be farming when it comes to Jedi and GR, especially now with the TB if you guys are going to be TB oriented. So let's go over to it, guys. Okay, so here it is. This is, I think, the one that was from Cub's video. You can see his thing in the background. This is like the best one I could find to just make it easy to show you guys. So nothing for Phase 1 for required in the ships. You do need 5 light side for really any of these things because it's light side TB, right? So that makes sense. And then you need 5 Jedi in the first combat mission, or second one rather. And then in the special mission versus Grievous, you need Padme with 4 GR allies versus Grievous, which is, I think it's going to be standard. Like I think the Phase 1 is obviously the easiest, right? And then coming down here, more Jedi and light side. So you're needing 10 different Jedi here between a special mission and a combat mission. That's a tough thing to ask for, guys, because the 5 best Jedi in the JKR team is JKR, Jolie, GMY, Bastila, and Hoda, in my opinion. And then if you have to use Padme without, like an Anakin or a GK, I mean, how are you gonna beat that? What are you gonna do? Use clones? Maybe. I don't think that's gonna be very, easy. And this is where I think the theme of this is really not centered around what's in the game right now. They're leading this up to what's gonna come down the line in the next couple months. And if I were to bet any money on you guys, or on this thing right now for you guys, is that I would bet a lot of money that we're gonna get some GR Jedi reworks here in the next month. I know we've been saying this for a long, long time, but this, from what I'm looking at the requirements and the platoons, it makes the most sense because of how many times you're going to use Jedi here, and there's multiple different times you're going to need to use Jedi here. And it only makes sense to me to incorporate reworks for these old, outdated characters. So I'm going to almost bet money on that we're going to get those reworks soon. Okay, so Phase 2, you're going to need some GR ships, Republic ships, nothing crazy there for the special mission at least. And then you got Combat Mission 1, more light side. Number 2, you need to have a 21k power level for GR. That's kind of tough because you can see down here right below that, you have to use General Anakin Skywalker and Snips versus Dooku. That's a little bit much to ask for because what are you going to be left with? The Padme team with GK or with JKA and GK and maybe some clones? I don't know. I mean, there's not a whole lot to choose from because as you can see down here at number 2 for the last part, the last section, the lower section, number 2 says you have to use 5 Jedi yet again, but this time they have to be a higher level at 21k. And this is the same issue I was just saying, just barely. Jedi is going to be a huge issue here, and if you guys want to play it safe, there's going to be some down the line after we get over this, or through this part, and I want to recommend some Jedi that I think are going to be really, really good. Gear 13 and hitting these power levels. So that's that, and then the last, but not least here with Phase 2 is the special mission versus Grievous. You need GK, Cody, and Sergeant all at 21k power. So yeah, just take that away from the combat mission 2 here above. You can't use GK there. You have to use them down here in the special mission. These things are so hard, man. They're so demanding. And you got to keep in mind, everything here has to be 7-star to even have a chance at it. So, and also 70 or 21k power with a 7-star. Okay, so Phase 3, nothing crazy with the ships. Some more GR, Capital, and Anakin. Nothing crazy, I don't think. And then some more light side, and then you have to use your GR Jedi at 22k power. as a special mission. And that, guys, that's where I'm like, man, yep, that's the hint towards, at least for me, that they're going to rework them soon. At least if they're going to play anything similar to what they did with the Geonosis faction through the bugs, they're going to rework them around the first, after the first time this TB is released. I would say around, midway through December. I would like that to be, but I don't know, because with all this next movie content, I don't think that's going to be a huge thing to look into, because they're so busy with all these new characters from the movie. I don't know if they have enough time on their plates to rework these GR Jedi. They should have, though, because they had so much time in the previous months. I don't know, though. I would like to see them rework, though, because that would help out a lot. And then down here, you need more Jedi. And then this special mission down here versus the Reek is the one where Mace Windu was supposed to be the guy there, but they didn't have enough time for the rework, so this is him. Whoa. You need Arc Trooper here, Shock, and Clones at 22k power. So you got to farm Arc, guys. That's the thing I'm going to mention in here in a little bit. So that's that phase 3. And this is the same phase where you have to place 10 different General Anakin Skywalkers. So last but not least, for phase 4, GK, Anakin, and 2 GR ships, 5 light side, 5 Jedi, more power, of course. And then this is the big boy mission with Ki-Adi-Mundi at 7-star with Shock and 3 GR Jedi. That's a tough one. And then 5 light side, and then you have to use a Padme team pretty much versus Nexu, and then even more GS with the clones. And that's all 23k power. So that's it, guys. And briefly, let's go over some of the stuff I think you guys should be farming or hoarding for gear for some of these Jedi and potentially clones. So I don't want this to be too long. Just briefly, guys, GR and Jedi. Let's start with GR. GR here. GS is one you guys got to get. It seems like it. You guys got to get him up. He's probably the most important one for this because of the platoons and some of the missions you need him for the special missions. And then besides that, the clones are pretty much right up there with him because of how much use you're going to get out of them. But also, the Padme team and Anakin. Anybody here that is dual faction with GR and Jedi is a must. But be cautious when I'm saying this. I don't want you guys to Gear 13 your Mace Windu just yet before he gets reworked. But people like Barriss Offee are going to be very, very good. Besides her with the GR and Jedi faction tag, that's pretty much it. Shaak Ti is kind of in the same boat, but she's already good. A lot of you guys already know she's good. So Shaak Ti is a super safe one to invest in. I think Barriss is as well because of how tanky she is, and her Zeta is pretty dang good with the extra healing, right? And then, of course, the JKAs, GKs, Ahsokas, and, of course, GS. Not too big of a fan of Qui-Gon, although that'd be pretty cool if he does get reworked here soon. But right now, his kit's very, very old and outdated. But this is where I'm saying they're going to probably rework some of these old GR Jedi with the Council. And that's where we're going to need, or that's where we're going to get a little bit more help. So that's that. And then just basic old Jedi here. The JKR team, and this is where I think with Bastila, Hermit, and Ezra is where they're going to come in clutch, and Old Ben too. Old Ben is going to be a super, super nice tank. I'm gonna just put it out there right now because of how tanky he is, how much TMR he can give, and all the debuffs. And he also gives out himself more TM. He gains TM at rather whenever a Jedi or Rebel is damaged. So I think he's a safe bet here if you guys want to work on him. Barriss, of course. Shaak Ti, of course, because you need her. But this guy right here, Ezra Bridger, guys, he's interesting because he is not a GR, but he is a Jedi. And in some of these common missions we just went over the requirements, you might need to, or you might be finding yourself using GMY elsewhere to beat a special mission, and then you're left with using somebody else. And that somebody else, in my opinion, is Ezra because of how much DPS he can do. And with Gear 13 on him, he can hit really hard. And I think this guy is somebody you guys should be thinking about, maybe not investing in right now, but maybe future down the line, maybe that's one to look into because of how much DPS he can do. Hermit Yoda, I'm not too sure about because he has a little stealth mechanic where he can't get hit at all. Bastila, yeah, she gains more offense and survivability with Gear 13, but I'm not sure if she's going to be important to the point where you need her Gear 13. But the most important thing is really getting those guys and whatever team you're using at the right power level for these specific missions and phases. So once you get that, then you can kind of work into your strategy with like an Ezra or an Old Ben or a Barriss, stuff like that. But that's kind of these oddballs that I think that are going to be really, really important here. And of course, the clones, you're going to need some clones here. Cody and Sergeant, they're going to be needed here for a special mission. I think you can't go wrong with Sergeant. You can kind of go wrong with Cody. He's not the greatest, Maybe, though, he's going to get some sort of rework here soon. I don't know. But Sergeant is so good. Such a basic hit. He does so much damage. He is super important to some of these clone teams. So him and Cody, I think, are going to be something to look into. But first and foremost, Sergeant over Cody, I think. That's pretty much it for some of these things I'm looking into. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. This is, like I said, this is part 1 of my my next 3 videos while I'm gone over at Thanksgiving. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. And if you guys enjoyed the video, give it a like, share it around, and if you are new here, feel free to sub. And that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching it again, and I will see you later.